Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. And in this video, or podcast, depending how you're watching this or listening to it, I'm going to show you not one, not two, but 3 different tools you can look at to help get all your IoT devices talking together. And that starts now. Well, there are several things that you can look at as you get more and more IoT devices, and let's face it, which one of us is going to have them from the same company? Not many. But before we get too far down the path, wanted to bring something to your attention, and as a way of saying thanks to all those who've been subscribing to the channel and watching the videos I've produced. If you will go to the link that's right here, you'll be able to get a chapter out of the first volume of the book. And let me bring up the book graphic here. And that's not the one. Okay, here we go. That's the one I wanted. And let me drop that out. So that is a chapter from there. It gives you an idea of what to look for in the book. And I will be doing yet another chapter giveaway as I get further into the process of doing volume 2, because I'm even getting into some more things. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about at this point. So there are several different things you can do beyond what the manufacturers provide for in their different utilities. And here's the thing. Okay, say you've got LifeX, and you've got Sonoff, and you've got Amazon Echo or Alexa, whatever you're calling it, or you've got Google Assistant. Oh, you've got the Philips Hue bulbs. Okay, you're going to start running into a challenge where you've got all these different control apps for them. And when you want to go do something, you got to remember, let's see, well, for that bulb, it's here. And if I'm doing this, then I've got to go here. This is where the third-party integrations, such as, well, there's Stringify. Let me get this out of the way where I can see it. I'm sorry, there's Unomi, there's IFTTT, and there is Stringify. There's no one way to look at this. These are 3 different options, and they each have their advantages over the others. So this is something that we'll be going through and kind of taking a step by step of different things to look at. You may find that one of them, say Unomi, for example, is just great, does exactly what you want. But depending on what you're doing, well, IFTTT may be a better fit. And you may end up using more than one. I certainly wouldn't try to use all 3. Then it becomes about as confusing as all the different management apps you're going to have. But I guess what the thing to do is write down what you'd like to do, inventory all the devices you got from manufacturers, and then even look at the voice control systems and see where to go from there. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and switch over to the Samsung Galaxy Plus, and then you kind of get to see some of this firsthand. Now that we switched over to my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, we'll start doing a little bit of a comparison on some of these third-party pieces, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. Now, the 3 that we'll be covering over the next few videos will be IFTTT, and that one's real simple to remember. It stands for if this, then that. Then there's Unomi, and then Stringify. The 2 that I've heard the most about, I've used IFTTT for quite a while. Now, this one has both a web interface as well as on the phone. And to set that up, actually, we don't want to go to activity. We'll go over here. And you can see the services that are supported. We've got Google Assistant, LifeX, and you can add more services. IFTTT is the one that supports Cortana, the Amazon Echo, and then Google Assistant. So this is one that can kind of cover the whole game. And I enjoy working with more than one voice response system, because sometimes certain commands just simply work a little bit better And then it's just a matter of you tap the plus, and then you see the whole interface. This is pretty much what you would do through the web interface or the smartphone interface. Now, that's one thing that is a plus in IFTTT's bag of tricks. Now, Unomi has, let me get back here to the main screen. I was working in here earlier. Come on, dashboard. There we go. Unomi only is through the smartphone interface, but that's fine. I've been having conversations with them, and they are looking at that because they realize sometimes you want to do it just from a web page just because you may not be near your smartphone, whatever your reason is. Now, the two things with Unomi to keep in mind is the two areas that you'll do the most work in will be things, and that's what you will have your accounts set up for for the Amazon Alexa integration. You see I've already got several LifeX bulbs in here, and then the Wemo Mini. Now, they've got to show up here first before you can do routines. And if you want to get ideas for other things you can do, then they've got a recommendations button, and you can kind of see different options there. And I don't want to cancel the routine. Okay, let's go back here. Yeah, we do, because it somehow got started into one. And you see find new devices, there's support. So everything you pretty much want to do from within there. And Unomi is the one we'll be starting on here in just, probably another day or two. And then the other one is Stringify. And each of these are a little bit different. Now with them, your devices have to show up under things. And where the other one had routines, well, they've got flows. It's all pretty much the same thing. Now, things to keep in mind is you don't have to use just one system. It's probably going to be simpler if you can, but it all depends on your combination of items and the voice response system. So you may need to kind of develop kind of a spreadsheet approach, go through the different options and see, compare the different services, see what they support, see what you have in terms of smart items to put together. And just to reiterate one more time, this is one of the advantages of what I call the third-party tools, the IFTTT, the Unomi, the Stringify, is it gets you additional functionality that is either A, not in the vendor's app, or B, say you've got a collection of LifeX bulbs plus Philips Hue bulbs. This is where the third-party options allow you to kind of tie all of those in, so you've got one application where you can turn them on and off. You've got one way where you can control things so that if you want to have, say, a Philips Hue bulb and a LifeX bulb turn on at the same time, you don't have to go to two separate apps to do it. You can do it from one. So that's an option to think about. So before we do the next video, go ahead and start building a list of everything you've got. If you've got more than one voice response system, or even if you only have one voice option you'd like to put in, write that down. Go through and list out the different manufacturers of the different smart home items you got. And if you're like me, you have more than one. Well, it just sometimes it depends on price. Sometimes I always like looking at different options. And then write a list of what you would like to do. See about taking things beyond just turning things on and off. For example, Unomi's got a great option that you can turn lights on and off at sunrise and sunset. IFTTT doesn't have that one. If you have, say, you want to make sure that if a text message comes in from, say, your boss or somebody important, that you can have a Philips Hue bulb flash a certain color, let you know there's a text message if the phone's not handy. So just start building a list of what you would like to do beyond just the basics. First, we'll start building out in Unomi, and then we'll look at IFTTT, and then we'll see what devices I've got and start doing the same thing in Stringify and just show you the different options. And you may find that you may start out with IFTTT, but you may seem to offer more of the features. But one thing I will say is, as you are tying all these accounts together, please use separate passwords for all the services, because if something gets compromised, and I'm not saying that it will, but that will go a long way into helping you avoid other problems. And then document these in a password manager. I use MSecure, but there's good ones out there. There's LastPass. There's all sorts of options available. Oh, but while you're doing this, take the time, document things down. If they ask you any security questions, write down the question and the answer. Have it stored in a safe place, because someday if something happens, that's going to make it that much easier to recover the account or get back in, or whatever you may need to use that information for. So that's the our demo at this point. Sorry, let me turn up the control here. I was starting to have a conversation with myself. It's like putting your phone on mute and then forgetting how to take it back off. So you can kind of see that the next avenue we're going to be pursuing, and there's a lot that can be done here. So it's almost to the point where your imagination will be the part that will keep you from maybe going to the next point. And then again, it could be an API that's not published for LifeX, or it could be that there's no integration between Sonoff and one of the third-party platforms. But this is where this is all a process to go through. I just wanted to thank everybody who has been buying the book. It's something that I started doing this because there was so much out there. And at this point, even with the increasing maturity of the technology, getting device A to work with platform B and talking to voice system C isn't always intuitive. Then sometimes things just kind of go squirrely for whatever reason. And we'll see some of that in the coming videos, because sometimes when you link another service in, there may be delays. Some of this is simply going to happen. Anything that I'm going to be putting in here, if there's affiliate links, I will tell you that up front. I get a small commission out of it. It's not going to change your price at all, but it does go to help with the costs I have, because a lot of this I'm having to buy for the channel, but I do it because I love experimenting with things, and I hope to help you get that same level of enjoyment. There's a lot of potential here, and it's only going to increase as the days and weeks and months go forward, because there's always stuff being developed all the time. If you know of a company that you'd like me to take a look at, please let me know. If you're a company that is producing this kind of stuff and you're seeing this video, please reach out to me, because I would like to see your product and talk about it with both my readers and those that are watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast. And that's another thing. This also is available on podcast. Basically, it's the audio version without the video. And it is available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher. I've tried to hit most of the major platforms so that you have an option of getting this however it's easiest for you. Well, we've gone on, I think, long enough. Thank you very much for everybody who's been subscribing to the channel and watching the videos. And I'm behind on a few things, so hopefully in the next few days we'll be able to get caught up with several of you who have asked me for certain things on some of the videos, and I do want to get those taken care of. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you again soon.